الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد marka hore waxaan rabaa inaan soo dhaweeyo Xoghayaha Guud ee Qaramada Midoobay iyo gudoomiyaha jamciyada United Nations-ka iyo wafdiga sharafta leh la socda.
Hello, greetings all. First, I'd like to welcome the Secretary General and the President of the Security Council, General Assembly, and all the delegates that are with them.
Ambassador Mahiga iyo ku-xigeenka arrimaha siyaasadda Lembasco iyo African Union.
The Ambassador Mahiga, African Union, the Deputy, and the other Ambassador, and all the other delegates that are with the Secretary General. Of course, the visit here is historic, and we say welcome to Somalia.
United Nations
we're thankful and appreciative of the continued support that the United Nations have provided to Somalia.
imaashadooda maanta Muqdisho yimaadaan dadka Soomaaliya shacabka Soomaaliya waxay u tahay dhiirigelin iyo waxay u tahay maxaan ku yiraahdaa dadaalkii wadajirka ahaa ay sameeyeen ciidamada TFG iyo ciidamada AMISOM natiijadiisii in ay maanta banaanka taalo.
Of course, the visit it's one that's encouraging the Somalian government, and also it's one that's showing the success that's been reached by AMISOM and the TFG soldiers in securing and making this place peaceful.
labada Amin caamka iyo madaxa jamciyada guud Mutaxida labadaba waa laba saaxiib oo Soomaaliya ay leh.
Of course, the Secretary General and the President of the General Assembly are both friends of Somalia.
dadaalkooda iyo juhdiga ay bixinayaan waxaan aaminsanahay inuu wax badan hore u sii dhaqaaji doono rajada muuqata.
And of course, the support that is given to us right now, we think it's the one that will encourage this country to go forward.
waxaan ka wada hadalnay mawaadiic faradan waxaan runtii aad ugu faraxsanahay dooda fiican ay nagu dhacday.
We've discussed many issues, and of course we're happy with the outcomes of the discussions.
marka mar raba aniga inaan ku dheeraado waxaan ku soo dhaweynayaa Amin caamka.
I don't want to elaborate too much on it at the moment. I'd welcome the Amin caam.
Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. President of General Assembly, distinguished members of the media, and dear citizens of Somalia, we are honored to visit Somalia at this time. We'd like to thank for your warm welcome and hospitality, and we are here to convey our strong solidarity to people of Somalia. This morning, upon arrival, we have had a series of very constructive discussions with the President and other leadership for the future and how international community could help Somalian government and people. A few years ago, people tended to see Somalia only as a famine or a bloodshed. Often when I spoke about Somalia, people wanted to change the subject. I didn't want to change the subject. Rather, I wanted to change the way we see Somalia. I believe that we are now at a critical juncture, a moment of fresh opportunities for the future of Somalian people. On the political front, to bring a new measure of stability and possibilities to people's lives. On the military front, to consolidate the gains. These gains should be a sustainable one. On the recovery front, to help break the cycle of famine, poverty, and all. This is the first time ever that the President of the United Nations General Assembly and the Secretary General of the United Nations are visiting Somalia. The last time my predecessor was in Somalia was 18 years ago, 1993. We have come here to see ourselves the changes underway and show strong solidarity of the United Nations and broader international community. In my discussions with the transitional federal government leaders, I stressed the importance of seizing this moment. We have a very limited window of opportunity. And this must be done on 3 dimensions. But this seems to be separate, but they are all connected, the levels, political, military, and humanitarian. On the political front, we have a roadmap. It has been widely supported and endorsed. We must move ahead quickly. It must be done in an inclusive and transparent way. The deadline is August next year. Further extension of this roadmap will be untenable. Now is the time to advance on the Constitution and parliamentary reform. We must push for progress as we prepare for the upcoming London summit meeting in Somalia. To further these efforts, I'm announcing today that the United Nations Political Office for Somalia, UNPOS, will relocate to Mogadishu January next year. On the military front, AMISOM has done a tremendous job in very difficult circumstances. I commend all those soldiers, and particularly those who have paid ultimate price, sacrificing their lives for the peace and stability and a better life for the people of Somalia. Working with the AMISOM and the TFG, we must make sure that the gains on the ground is not reversed. That requires AMISOM to deploy at its full strength of 12,000 troops. It also means helicopters and military engineering capabilities. In this regard, I welcome the recent endorsement of Kenyan Parliament to dispatch soldiers to AMISOM, and I take this opportunity to express our gratitude to the governments of Burundi and Uganda for their soldiers working hard and courageously as AMISOM soldiers. But the TFG must establish local administrations in newly liberated areas in Mogadishu and South Central Somalia. On the humanitarian front, UN agencies and NGOs have done outstanding work. Their collective efforts have saved thousands of lives since famine was declared in July. But the situation, particularly in central and southern Somalia, remains dire. 4 million people are in crisis. 250,000 people face famine. Meanwhile, there are due threats to humanitarians. I condemn the recent attacks and actions of the Al-Shabaab. Humanitarian organizations in Somalia remain strictly neutral. Their mission is only to save lives, to deliver life-saving humanitarian assistances. Any attack on them is an attack on the most vulnerable people in the country. On all of these challenges, the African Union and other regional organizations like IGAD, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, can play a critical role together with the United Nations. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, being here is the most visible way for us to send a clear message to the people of Somalia. You are not alone. The United Nations and broader international community stand with you and will stay with you as you shape and build your own future. This is my commitment as the Secretary General of the United Nations. This is a United Nations priority, and it is why we are here together with you. Thank you very much. Shukran.
Your Excellency, Mr. President Sheikh Sharif Sheikh Axmed, Your Excellency Dr. Adiweli Muhammad Ali, Prime Minister of the Transitional Federal Government,